That's 3 straight weeks of rain and lightning delays across the Metroplex. And guess what? There's a chance of more inclement weather this week. But we will have football this week, and there are some great matchups for us to dissect. Let's start with Desoto versus Mansfield Lake Ridge. Desoto comes into this game 4-0, and their offense is clicking on all cylinders. Wide receiver Vontae Chenault has 26 catches for 369 yards in just 4 games. Lake Ridge is 2-1 and is led by quarterback Chandler Rogers, who has thrown 4 touchdowns and ran for 5 more. Offensively, this is a pretty evenly matched game. It'll come down to which defense can make the big plays. In 11-6A, undefeated Longview, the Yellow Jackets have lit up the scoreboard to the tune of 38 points per game. Senior quarterback Jacob Clark is averaging over 300 yards passing this year, and his main target, Jackson Smith-Njigba, has 27 catches and 5 touchdowns through 3 games. This one should be an absolute shootout. And finally, Allen may be a huge favorite to win 9-6A, but don't count out Plano East and Prosper. The 2 undefeated teams face off against each other this Friday. Both teams can light up the sky, but this one might be decided by the running games. The Eagles running back Wayne Anderson has 515 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns, while the Panthers' Trey Scott Jones has 462 yards and 7 touchdowns. Look for the Plano East defense to play a big factor in this one as well. And speaking of Plano East defense, this week on Wingstop Inside High School Sports, Pat Doney will explain why the number 599 has motivated the Panther defense to be one of the area's best this year. Okay, let's take a look at the 3 nominees for this week's MVP bobblehead. Let's start at Haltom with wide receiver Julian Johnson. The senior was the Buffalo's big play guy last Friday in a win over North Mesquite. Johnson caught 7 passes for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns as Haltom won 41-17. DeSoto's quarterback Shun'Darion Ward had a ridiculous game last week against Waxahachie. Ward completed 33 of 36 passes. That's right, he only threw 3 incompletions. That's incredible. He also finished with 451 yards passing and 5 touchdowns while running for 100 yards as well. Finally, TC Cedar Hill quarterback Shedur Sanders had a fabulous game for the Tigers. The sophomore threw for 270 yards passing, including this 92-yarder that set up the game-winning touchdown with under a minute to play. And guess what? Deion Sanders' son scored that game winner with a 1-yard plunge for the score. Just about everyone starts district play this week, so let's take a look at our rankings for 5 and 6A. I doubt that anyone will move Allen off the top spot as the Eagles poured it on another opponent this week. Allen beat Plano handedly 49-14 and remains at number 1. The back and forth in the rankings between Desoto and Duncanville continue this week. Desoto leaps over the Panthers for the number 2 spot after duking it out with Waxahachie last week. Duncanville drops to 3, but only because they had a bye week. Cedar Hill moves up to 4 as they blew out Grand Prairie 45-0. Trinity drops to number 5 as they had to cancel their non-district game with John Tyler due to weather issues. Chandler Morris threw 5 touchdowns against Bryan Adams as the Scots remain in the top spot for 5A. Aledo is nipping at their heels as the Bearcats stay at 2 despite having their bye week. Denton Ryan is at 3 as they've scored 6 defensive touchdowns already this year. The Raiders trounced West Mesquite 38-3 last week. A couple of Frisco schools round out the top 5. Lone Star had their bye week and remained at 4, while Reedy beat Denison 45-20 and are still at number 5. Now it's time for our cool down segment, where we take a look at social media from the world of Texas high school football. Let's start by recognizing a hero off the field. Bowie head coach Danny DeArmond made a dramatic rescue this week as he waded into flooded waters to pull a lady out of her car. DeArmond noticed a woman stuck in her car around Highway 30, pried her out of her car, and carried her on his shoulders through knee-deep waters to safety. Kudos to a job well done, Coach. Let's move on to another coach, Jesuit head coach Brandon Hickman. He told his Rangers if they pitched a shutout, he would do whatever dance they wanted. Well, Jesuit beat Plano West 42-0, so here you go. Coach Hickman has got those moves like Jagger, doesn't he? And finally, here's how you know Allen wide receiver Theo Weiss is a special player. Not only does he make plays at the wideout position, but watch him help his teammate Selden Manning make it to the end zone by throwing a block that knocks down not one, not two, but three players. Nice block, Theo. Pretty awesome stuff going on in the social media world, and you can keep up with it all by following our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram for all things high school football. This will get you ready for the bright lights of high school football and Wingstop Inside High School Sports hosted by Pat Doney. The show airs this week at 5 p.m. on NBC5. That's all we have for this week's episode of The Warm Up. I'm Ashley Bullington. Thanks for watching and happy footballing.